On a crisp January evening, the world was rocked by an unexpected twist in the realm of celebrity interviews. Florence Pugh, known for her commanding screen presence and subtle portrayal of complex characters, found herself under the bright lights of a primetime talk show. It wasn't just an interview. It took place against the backdrop of shifting societal norms and heated discussions around gender roles and masculinity. In recent years, discussions about masculinity have taken center stage in media circles, often sparking polar arguments. According to a 2023 study published in the Journal of Gender Studies, traditional notions of masculinity are increasingly being challenged, leading to a cultural shift where traits such as vulnerability and emotional expression are being recognized. However, this evolution is not without detractors who argue that these changes are blurring the essence of what it means to be cool or strong. When Florence Pugh sat down at the table, she expected the usual conversation about her latest movie role, her path in Hollywood, and perhaps some light banter. But the host, known for his provocative style, had other plans. He leaned forward, sunk his gaze into her eyes, and asked, "Florence, in a world where masculinity is being redefined, how do you think men should display their toughness today?" This seemingly innocuous question carried a lot of contemporary debates and tensions in society. It wasn't just about Florence's views, but a broader conversation about identity, strength, and resilience. The audience, initially expecting a relaxed exchange of views, shuddered at the seriousness of the issue. Social media platforms started buzzing even before the segment aired, and the hashtags #masculinity redefined and #toughness today went viral around the world. What happened next was nothing short of extraordinary. Florence, caught off guard but quickly navigating the situation, responded with a wit and insight that mesmerized the audience. Her words caused a deep resonance, stirred emotions, and became the cause of a viral sensation, which will stir the internet long after the end of the show. Thus, the groundwork was laid for an interview that went beyond its original intent and became a turning point in contemporary discourse. As we delve deeper into the narrative, we will examine the unfolding drama, the emotional undertones, and the scandalous revelations that followed, all within the real context of the evolving gender dynamics. The interview began innocently enough, with Florence Pugh exchanging pleasantries and sharing anecdotes from her illustrious career. The audience laughed at her humorous stories, and the host seemed pleased with the flow of the conversation. Nevertheless, there was tension brewing beneath the surface, waiting for the right moment to break out. When the presenter broached the topic of masculinity, the atmosphere changed perceptibly. His tone became more penetrating and his questions more pointed. "Florence," he began, leaning closer, "do you think the modern definition of masculinity contradicts the idea of toughness? Or is there still room for both?" Florence paused, visibly surprised by the unexpected turn of the conversation. For a brief moment there was silence in the air, broken only by the faint hum of the studio lights. Then, calm and determined, she replied, "I believe that toughness is not limited to any gender or stereotype. It's about resilience, courage, and standing up for your principles." Her answer, while measured, drew a strong reaction. The audience erupted in applause, and responses on social media ranged from admiration to outrage. Critics argued that Florence's stance undermined traditional values, while supporters praised her for advocating a more inclusive understanding of strength. As the debate deepened, Florence developed her views through personal experience and observation. She spoke passionately about the importance of emotional intelligence and the need to redefine strength beyond physical prowess. True strength, she emphasized, lies in recognizing vulnerabilities and overcoming them, not suppressing them. The moderator, sensing the mounting tension, attempted to steer the conversation back to conventional wisdom. But Florence's eloquence and conviction remained unwavering, turning the dialogue into a powerful exploration of contemporary issues. Her every word resonated with those who felt marginalized by rigid social expectations. By the end of the segment, the interview had evolved from a simple question and answer session into a deep discourse on identity and resilience. The viral video captured the essence of this transformation, showcasing Florence's indomitable spirit and intellectual depth. The millions of people who watched and rewatched the video could not help but absorb the questions raised, questions that challenged existing paradigms and offered new perspectives. Thus, what began as a routine interview turned into a landmark event, dividing opinions and uniting voices in a common quest for understanding. The impact was immediate and lasting, setting the stage for further exploration of the complexities of human nature and social foundations. As the interview progressed, the emotional layers lurking beneath Florence Pugh's reserved exterior began to reveal themselves, revealing a complexity that captivated the audience. Her answers, while articulate, carried the weight of personal experience that resonated deeply with the audience. Each word she chose seemed to reflect not only her professional insight, but also her personal struggle with societal expectations. Florence's voice trembled slightly as she recounted instances of suppressed male vulnerability in her own life. "There was a time," she confessed, "when I watched a man close to me struggle in silence because expressing his pain was considered weakness." This confession was met with a collective sigh from the audience, followed by a piercing silence that underscored the seriousness of her words. Her ability to respond emotionally to such a sensitive topic gave the talk an added authenticity. Viewers sensed her sincerity, which heightened the emotional resonance of her message. Social media exploded with comments from those who shared her sentiments, creating a virtual community bound by shared experiences and emotions. Moreover, Florence's interaction with the presenter demonstrated the nuances of emotional expression in public forums. Despite the presenter's attempts to provoke a reaction, Florence maintained composure, using humor and intelligence to navigate the subtle realm of emotion and identity. This display of emotional intelligence further endeared her to the audience, who appreciated her ability to handle difficult topics with grace and wisdom. As the interview continued, Florence delved into the psychological effects of rigid gender roles, citing research and personal anecdotes illustrating how such restrictions can affect mental health. Her empathic approach to discussing these issues encouraged others to share their stories, fostering an atmosphere of openness and understanding. The emotional depth of Florence's arguments did not go unnoticed by the audience. They evoked feelings ranging from sympathy and anger to inspiration and hope, prompting many to reconsider their own notions of masculinity and toughness. In doing so, Florence's performance was outstanding. She turned a potentially contentious discussion into a healing and enlightening experience for all involved. Through her candid revelations and heartfelt statements, Florence Pugh not only changed the conversation about masculinity, but also demonstrated the power of emotional intelligence in addressing complex societal issues. Her interview was a testament to the transformative potential of open dialogue, encouraging audiences around the world to embrace vulnerability as a strength rather than a weakness. As the interview concluded, the digital landscape descended into chaos, reflecting the storm of emotions unfolding in the studio. Social media platforms have become a battleground for different ideologies, with each side fiercely defending their position. Hashtags such as #PughPower and #RethinkMasculinity went viral around the world, attesting to the widespread impact of Florence Pugh's words. Supporters extolled her for breaking down barriers, while critics accused her of undermining traditional values, igniting a fierce debate that transcended geographical boundaries. In the whirlwind of public attention, personal attacks on both Florence and the host began to emerge. Florence's critics called her a traitor to tradition, questioned her integrity, and accused her of seeking publicity. Conversely, the host's detractors criticized his tactics, calling them manipulative and biased. These accusations quickly escalated, leading to a series of formal complaints filed against the TV station for showing what some considered to be an inaccurate portrayal of masculinity. The situation soon became legal as various human rights groups demanded a report from the broadcaster. Lawyers representing various factions prepared to take the case to court, arguing over whether the interview was a violation of ethical journalism. The litigation promised to drag on, adding another layer of complexity to an already volatile scenario. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, Florence faced internal pressure from her superiors. They persuaded her to issue a public statement clarifying her intentions and mitigating the potential damage to her career. However, Florence remained adamant, choosing to focus on the positive outcomes of the interview. She initiated several projects to raise awareness of mental health and gender equality, using her new platform to effect real change. The scandal reached its climax when confidential emails between the crew and the presenter were leaked online, revealing premeditated strategies to provoke controversy. The revelation shocked the entertainment industry, prompting calls for greater transparency and ethical media practices. As a result of the incident, significant changes were made to the way interviews were conducted, and television stations began enforcing stricter rules to prevent future incidents. When the dust settled, The incident served as a catalyst for a broader discussion on the role of the media in shaping public opinion. He emphasized the importance of responsible journalism and the need for platforms to foster constructive dialogue rather than making a big deal out of it. Florence Pugh not only survived but became a beacon of resilience, proving that strength lies in embracing vulnerability and standing up for what you believe in. After a viral interview, Florence Pugh found herself at the center of a global discussion that went far beyond a single talk show. The episode sparked a movement urging people to rethink ingrained beliefs about masculinity and toughness. When the dust settled, Florence took pause to reflect on the unfolding events, realizing the profound impact her words had had. Florence realized that her position as a public figure came with great responsibility. She realized that her interview was not just about her personal beliefs, but represented a larger societal shift, a call to embrace diversity in human expression. This realization prompted her to channel her influence into meaningful action. She became involved with mental health advocacy organizations and launched initiatives that provide resources and support to those struggling with societal pressures to conform to rigid gender roles. Additionally, Florence's experience emphasized the importance of authentic communication in public discourse. In an era where headlines are rife with sensationalism, her candid approach resonated deeply with the audience. It reminded people of the power of honest conversation to bridge differences and build understanding. Inspired by this, Florence committed to using her platform to amplify voices that might otherwise go unheard, ensuring that different perspectives were included in mainstream dialogues. The lessons learned from this incident also impacted the media industry itself. Networks and producers began to rethink their methods, seeking to create content that informs and engages rather than provokes and polarizes. This shift was evident in the increasing number of programs that prioritized thoughtful discussion over trivial controversy, reflecting a broader commitment to ethical journalism. Florence's journey through the turbulent waters of public scrutiny ultimately reinforced her belief in the transformative power of vulnerability. By sharing her story and advocating for change, she inspired countless others to do the same. Her actions exemplified that true strength lies not in following outdated stereotypes, but in embracing the full range of human emotions and experiences. Looking back, Florence felt that she had regained her purpose. The interview was not just a moment in time, but a catalyst for change, a reminder that every voice can change the world. And so, with renewed vigor, Florence went on to advocate for a society where strength and resilience would be defined by compassion and understanding, leaving behind an indelible legacy that transcended the fleeting nature of fame.